Hello and welcome to Module 3 of this course, Lifespan Development. Developmental psychology is the study of how we change physically, cognitively, and socially as we journey from conception to death. Developmental psychology has shed light on three major issues. The first is the issue of nature and nurture. How does our genetic inheritance interact with our experiences to influence our development? The second issue is the question of continuity and stages. What parts of development are gradual and continuous, like riding an escalator? And what parts change abruptly in separate stages, like climbing rungs on a ladder? The third issue is stability and change. Which of our traits persist through life? How do we change as we age? Human life begins at the moment of conception. When a woman's ovary releases a mature egg, the process begins. The 200 million sperm that are deposited during intercourse begin a race upstream. Only a small number of sperm will reach the egg. Those that do will release digestive enzymes that eat away its protective coating. As soon as one sperm penetrates the coating, the egg's surface will block out the others. Inside the fertilized egg, the sperm distributes its chromosomes. Chromosomes are thread-like structures composed of long strands of DNA. Genes are pieces of DNA, and they can be active, expressed, or inactive. Events in an individual's environment can turn on these genes. The process of genetic transfer of characteristics from parents to offspring is known as heredity. All humans share a similar genetic heredity. This is known as the human genome. It is a complete instructions for making an organism, consisting of all the genetic material in that organism's chromosomes. Your DNA and mine are 99.9% the same, according to former Human Genome Project Director Francis Collins. Genes can be either expressed or not, depending on external influences. These influences, which range from prenatal nutrition to social support in later life, we refer to generally as environment. Your height, for example, may be influenced by your diet and even by accidental injuries during growth. Thus, there is an interaction between environment and heredity. Our natural tendency to be either outgoing or reserved can be strengthened or weakened by the feedback we receive in our environment. When the egg becomes fertilized, it enters a 2-week period of rapid cell division. During this period, the developing cell cluster is referred to as a zygote. The period of development after the first 2 weeks of development result in a tiny clump of cells forming two parts. The inner cells form the embryo, and the outer cells form the placenta. The embryo development period lasts about 2 weeks after fertilization until the 2nd month. For about 1 in 270 sets of parents, the zygote will split apart to form two. If the zygotes develop normally, they will develop into identical twins. Identical twins share the same exact genetic information, since they developed from the same original fertilized egg. Fraternal twins, by contrast, develop from the same fertilized eggs. They share the same prenatal environment, but not the same genes. Genetically, they are no more similar than non-twin brothers and sisters. By 9 weeks after conception, an embryo looks unmistakably human. It is now a fetus. By the 6th month, organs such as the stomach have developed enough to give the fetus a chance of survival if born prematurely. As the fetus develops, nutrients and oxygen are transferred across the placenta from the mother's bloodstream to the child's. During this process, the placenta screens out many harmful substances. However, some slip by. Among them are teratogens, agents such as viruses and drugs that can damage an embryo or fetus. Alcohol is one such teratogen. As a pregnant woman drinks, alcohol enters her bloodstream and her fetus's. If she is a persistent heavy drinker, the fetus will be at risk for birth defects and mental retardation. For about 1 in 800 infants, the effects are visible as fetal alcohol syndrome, or FAS, marked by a small, misproportioned head and lifelong brain abnormalities. As newborns, we arrive with automatic reflex responses ideally suited for our survival. For example, when something touches their cheek, babies turn towards that touch, open their mouth, and actively root for a nipple. Finding one, they quickly close on it and begin sucking. Newborns share much in common, yet they are also different. Most parents testify to the individual temperament of their children. Some are reactive, intense, and fidgety. Others are more easygoing, quiet, and placid. Temperament, which is rooted in our biology, is one aspect of personality. Identical twins who have identical genes have more similar personalities, including temperament, than do fraternal twins. Such evidence supports the idea that our biologically rooted temperament helps form our enduring personality.